been working on my little space here for a while, trying to get some organization going on, keeping the same vibe, but now I need to work on the lighting. So today's video, we are going to upgrade the lighting in this space without changing the whole aesthetic. Kind of a cold, dreary day today. I've been working on my work area, trying to get a little bit more organized. I recently organized my tools over here. Got my rusty, crusty old Snap-on toolbox and put that over here, which one of the main reasons I did that is because normally I film this way, and this is kind of a backdrop, and so it goes with the whole jalopy Johnson Garage vibe with this rustic environment. One of the problems that I have is lighting. So I do get good daylight coming from this window here and over here. It gives me some daylight, but I don't have nothing bright overhead. Sometimes when I'm working, especially at night, I really can't see much. It doesn't help that I wear glasses either. So I'm gonna work on a lighting project today. This I picked up at a garage sale, $5. And this is what I'm gonna be working with. Super bright. Gonna hang it up over the workbench over here. Probably put it on a separate switch because it really kills the vibe of the old vintage style. But I'm gonna mix this with this chicken feeder and just kind of enhance the whole thing. So 2 birds with 1 stone. How do you get bright lighting in a vintage style garage? Let's go. All right, yeah, so we're working with a LED shop light, garage sale find. So didn't pay too much for this. I don't know what they cost new, but super bright. It's got a little pull switch, so that'll help with the wiring piece. But the plan is to try and have like 2 phases, you know. So when I do videos, I need to work on the light. When I'm working on projects, I need a different type of light. And then when we're just hanging out, we want that whole bar atmosphere where I got the lights over from my beer signs over there. This one won't be on. So I got to figure out the switch thing where I could have like the different phases without too much trouble. So that's why I like the little light switch here, because temporarily I could just hook it all onto one, turn it on and off individually. So that's simple. And another watch out, I mean, they're both the same, that they're 3 foot. So that's gonna fit good, but this feeder doesn't have an end cap, so I gotta figure out something over here to kind of close that off. I'll figure that out, but this is gonna be super simple. Just open this up, mount the light in there, I'll hang it with chains, and then put it in the action. So just a garage enhancement, gotta love them. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do here, just kind of measure out where I gotta drill the holes for the top. So I gotta figure out for the chain. I think I'm gonna end up attaching the chain right to here. So I gotta drill a hole to where these little things will come through, and then I'll have to drill a hole big enough for this wire to come through on the top. That will just allow this to recess in here. Well, I got my first boo-boo. So I unscrewed this, thinking that this was screwed into the chassis of this lamp, and the screw fell inside. I went ahead and I opened it up, and it's kind of difficult to get in there, so I'm just going to improvise and come up with another way to mount the chains. So if you do something similar to this, I don't know if you will or not, but just be aware that there's a nut on the back side of this that falls into there, and I took these out. These just screw into some electrical panel plate on the inside, and this is all one unit. When I was unscrewing it, I was thinking that this top plate was going to come off, but this is just all one metal shroud. So that didn't work out, but no muff too tough. I'll keep going. All right, so that's where I was hoping to screw that chain back in. But since I don't have a nut, I'm gonna go ahead and use a sheet metal screw and get that going in. I think I got the right size here. Now we can tighten that up. And if I measured right, hopefully I get an alignment over here. My guess I'm not right. I'm gonna have to adjust a little bit. Yeah, I'm off a little bit. So I think I'm just gonna drill another hole into the chassis of the light. That'll be easier. Line it up so it's visually centered. Now I should be able to see my little black dot, hopefully. There it is. Have it. Next I'm going to build something to cap this off, and I'm going to run some wires to make sure this kind of just sits in, some rusty wire. Finish up the aesthetic of it, and then we'll hang it. So just to wire this up, I'm just going to continue going on with the whole rustic vibe. And the reason I want to wire this snug is because when I do the end over there, I want it to just be solid. I don't want it to be rickety, and it's going to help me measure whatever I'm going to cut out to square up that side. Now let me cap off the end here with, I think I'm going to use wood. I think I'm going to just trim it on a piece of wood and then cut it out with the jigsaw, stick it in there, screw it on, and I'll put my Make It Look Old stain on there, cap off the end, and then all that'll be next is running some chain. Okay, so that'll just kind of fit in here like this. A little loose, but that's all right. Looks like I gotta drill a hole for the light switch. Do that now. We'll go with a 3/4 inch. That'll give us more than enough space. Right now I'm going to run some old vintage nails, hold it in place. I think I'm also gonna go ahead and patina this and scuff up the sides, make it look a lot older than it is. All right, so to give this a little bit more patina, I'm just gonna go ahead and pound it out a little bit, give it some dents and dings. Go with the grain with the wire brush to kind of soften, take out all that soft wood. Easier to do it this way. Okay, so now once I put the Make It Look Old stain on here, it's gonna look old. I'm telling you, it's gonna look old and look like this was a repair that was done years ago. I think I'm also gonna go ahead and kind of make a groove here to where it looks like the chain's been dragging for quite a while as well. So let me go ahead and something there. All right, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know I use this quite a bit. This is a vinegar steel wool solution. Only thing is I don't filter out the sediment. I just keep adding to it, so it's always different, but it always gives it like a rusty old look. I use it on a lot of things, wood mainly, but it works good on, I've used it on paper, I've used it on plastics to make plastics look stained and old. Wood, every wood reacts differently. You never know what you're gonna get. Sometimes you'll get a lighter tone, sometimes you get a darker tone, but no matter what you do, it always makes whatever you're working on look old. And sure enough, that's gonna match that, make it look like when I originally picked it up, it was already a done deal. So let me get some nails. I'm gonna nail that on, get the chain on. We're almost there. All right, so I didn't have a rusty nail that I liked that's gonna work for this project, so we're gonna do some of our own. These are old nails, they're steel. I'm assuming they're steel, but they're just not rusted yet. So the way I'm going to rust these up is a little muriatic acid first, kind of get it etched. And then once that kind of does a little work for about 5-10 minutes. All right, let's soak for a little bit, probably about 5-10 minutes. I went ahead and threw, I don't know if you can see it, threw the chain in there and a couple of other pieces of hardware. So let's see if we can rust those up with some peroxide. Kind of see it's turning a little rusty in there already. We'll let that just kind of go a little bit, and then I'll dump it out, put some salt on there, and then let it dry, and then I'll start the rusting process. Should give it like a patina, rusty, might not be very dark on some of the pieces of hardware. It all depends on what the hardware metal mix is, but much like this, I mean, this isn't brown. This is like just galvanized, dingy looking, and that's what we're going for. But if it turns out rusty because some of that hardware is not galvanized, then that'll look good too. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and dump this out on here. Got all my hardware. Do I need salt or am I good enough? It looks like it's good enough. It's not going to need any salt. All of this is turning already, so we're good to go. You can see right here, the old, this must be like a chrome or aluminum. That one didn't take, but I'm not using that anyway. I'm just going to use the chain. And as this dries, it'll look good. So let's move on. I'm going to go ahead and nail. You know what? I think I'm going to switch this chain out too. The chain looks too new. I think I have an old ball chain, longer even. Let me see, I think I got something. So I didn't have any older ball chain. I had some, but it was a different size, and it wasn't even, I think this is all stainless steel, so it's not going to give it that old patina look anyway. But what I did have is some nice smaller chain here, and what I'm going to end up doing is just go ahead and loop this through, hook it on itself, and that'll give me a really long cord to pull the string on from that standpoint. I think the trick here, I'm looking at it, if I loop it like this, it's going to be too long, so I got to take some of the slop out and get a nice tight loop and hook it on itself right here on this particular ball. So I got to leave not cut it too short to where I can't hook it on itself. So I'll hook that on this one here that's outside of the, can I get it on there? Maybe I can put it on that one. This might be an issue. Can I even loop it on a piece? This might not work. If I can't do this, then I have to go to a different plan. So next thing, I guess, would be, my original plan was to loop this and hook it back on itself. Let's see if I can connect this onto this chain. That might work. Take that off. This fit through here. This might work. So if I can get this fit through here, which it does. There we go. All right, perfect. Give myself plenty of cord, because I don't know how low I'm going to want this. And now, that'll work. That didn't hold. I probably should have tried it a few more times. So I ended up taking off the wood again, and I got to go to plan B here. But my idea is to just drill a hole right in this little clasp, and then that way it won't spread open like it did. I don't know if you can see it, but that's exactly what happened here. I'm going to drill right into here, into this clasp. And I hope that works, because if the clasp messes up, then I got to go get another ball chain connection here to to fix it, but I'm gonna drill a tiny hole in there and run this through and hook it back together again. Okay, now for the chain. So this was the chain that was on the light originally. I went ahead and patinaed it. It looks all right. But this chain I found in my stash looks a little bit more old, well, because it is old. And we're gonna use this chain, cut it in half. It's got a cool little design to it. And we're just gonna go with a simple eye bolt. I'm gonna go ahead and drill right into that chassis again. A little smaller screw, screw that in there. That'll give me the bottom part. And then we'll do the same thing for the ceiling. All right, so we gotta go to plan B, because apparently, as I drill through the aluminum chassis, there's something underneath there, and I don't want it to mess up the light. I moved down a little bit, still catching it. Could be the circuit board, the cord, I'm not sure. I went ahead and checked the other side over here. And the other side, no issues. It worked as planned. I drilled the hole all the way through the chassis, screwed the eye bolt in. So now I gotta get another way to mount over here. Tin screw, sheet metal screw. I'm gonna use a piece of this plumber's tape, trim it. That'll allow me to get the S-hook here, and on the same S-hook on that side. Looks to be about the same depth, be pretty close. I may have to adjust the chain a little bit, but that'll work. Most of this will be up top and you won't see it, but even if you did see it, that's what I love about using all this rusty, crusty stuff. There's no rules, you can do whatever you like. All done. I think it looks really, really good in the shop. It's going to give me some nice bright light when I want to work on my workbench. I got a couple other things I'm going to do to it that I'll show you in the highlight reel, but at this time I want to say thanks for watching the video. Check out some of my other videos if you haven't seen my channel. I do car show videos, and I do what I call crafty automobilia, where I make stuff with car parts and whatnot. In fact, I'm going to put a couple car parts on this piece that you'll see in the highlight reel. But anyhow, if you like that type of stuff, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see some of the other stuff I do in the future. Anyhow, have a good one.